All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the last four problems, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in one video. I'm keeping it pretty short, so hopefully I can keep that up. Problem number 7, we've got 3 pi. So if I want to find the coterminal, I'm going to subtract 2 pi, which means that's just pi. So if I look at my unit circle, pi is right here on the x-axis. So if I draw it, it's sitting right here. And that ordered pair is -1, 0. So reference angle doesn't apply. And remember, this ordered pair is cosine sine. It's alphabetical order. So cosine's -1, sine is 0. Tangent is sine divided by cosine. So 0 divided by -1 would be 0. Now let's use the reciprocal function. So cotangent, I'm going to do the reciprocal of tangent. So -1 over 0, that is undefined. Let's see, cosecant, the reciprocal to sine, that's going to be undefined. 0 does not have a reciprocal. And secant's the reciprocal to cosine, so that's going to be -1. So that takes care of problem number 7. I'm going to go ahead and slide on over to number 8 here. All right, so 5 pi over 4. I'm going to actually use the trig chart for this one. So I feel like we did 5 pi over 4. I think we did. It was probably just a different reference angle, or a different angle value. So 5 pi over 4 is sitting here in quadrant 3. The way I know that is I know this is pi, which would be 4 pi over 4. And 5 pi over 4 is just a little bit more than that. So reference angle is going to be pi over 4. So that's going to be the root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, and 1. So let's go ahead and label those out. Root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, 1. Reciprocal functions, cotangent is going to be 1. Cosecant and secant. If I flip this fraction over, so this would be 2 over root 2, and I rationalize it, it becomes 2 root 2 over 2. Well, those cancel, leaving just root 2. Secant would be the same thing. However, in quadrant 3, right, AST, T is the only thing that's positive down here. So tangent and cotangent will be the positive values. Sine, cosine, cosecant, and secant will be negatives. All right. So that's, again, the whole point of using that ASTC is so that you know what's positive versus what's negative. All right. I'm going to go ahead and slide over. Maybe. There it goes. Let's go ahead and get problem number 9 here. All right, so problem number 9, we have a theta value of -405. So I'm going to take that -405. I am going to add 360 to it. Right now I'm finding a coterminal angle. Let's see, plus 360. All right, now I'm at -45. I'm still not a fan of -45, so let's go ahead and add 360 again. So plus 360, and this time I get an angle of 315 degrees. So on my unit circle, this is 270, this is 360. 315 is somewhere between them. So now I know I'm in quadrant 4. And the question is, how many degrees am I from the x-axis? So this angle right here is what I'm looking for. So 315 to 360, if I subtract those, I get an angle value. My theta is 45 degrees. Okay, so 45 degrees here are going to be the root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, and 1. So let's go ahead and fill those out. Tangents 1. All right, so cotangents 1. We've done this a couple of times. So if I do the reciprocal of root 2 over 2, that just turns into root 2, and secant will be root 2 as well. Now in quadrant 4, let me slide over. Quadrant 4, C is the letter here, so that means that cosine and its reciprocal are positive. So sine is negative, cosine's positive, tangent's negative, cotangent's negative, cosecant's negative, secant is positive, because secant and cosine are the reciprocal functions to each other. All right, so that's problem number 9. We've got one more to get through, which is number 10 here. Let's see what we've got here. All right, 19 pi over 6. So let's start with, I don't know why I just wrote 16. Let's try that again. All right, 19 pi over 6. Let's subtract 2 pi and see what we get. And again, I'm just doing that in a calculator and converting it to a fraction immediately. So this is 7 pi over 6. So on a unit circle, this would be pi. 7 pi over 6 would be just a little bit after it. So this would be 6 pi over 6. And down here would be 7 pi over 6. So I'm in Q3. My reference angle, because the denominator is 6, is going to be pi over 6, which means I'm going to be working with this first column here in the trig chart. So sine is 1/2, cosine is root 3 over 2, tangent is root 3 over 3. Let's find some reciprocals here. So cotangent is going to be 3 over root 3. When that rationalizes, that's just root 3. Cosecant theta is the reciprocal to sine theta. So if I have the reciprocal of 1/2 is just 2. And then secant theta is going to be the reciprocal to cosine theta. So 2 over root 3 becomes 2 root 3 over 3. Quadrant 3, the only thing that's positive there, that's the t. So that's going to be tangent and cotangent. So sine, cosine are both negative. Tangent's positive, cotangent's positive. Cosecant and secant are both negative. All right, I hope this makes some sense in terms of finding these exact trig values using both the trig chart and the ASTC piece.